Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
If you didn't guess, we're going to Memphis this week, and we're going to visit the House of Rock and Roll.
Graceland.
Ann and I are about to visit Graceland. We're parked at the Graceland RV park, which is right behind us. And it's a short walk right over to Graceland. Ann is suffering from a little bit of sinus ingestion. And so she won't be talking too much this episode.
Oh well.
But she's feeling well enough to go tour the home of the King of Rock. And we're excited to see Graceland while we're here in Memphis.
I got this feeling, love isn't season. Let's take a drive down to a place where affection grows, and your heart will know.
So the campground, which we chose on purpose because of its proximity to Graceland and the things we were there to see primarily. We had just come from Nashville. You were on medicine now, but you were still.
This thing lasted a while. Let's see. I don't know how many states I went through to get better, but
At least you were on medicine now, so we were in the process. So she, as much as everyone wants to hear Ann talk more than me, I understand. She was a little bit quieter this episode, which is good that we're doing this because now she's healthy and she can talk almost the entire video.
like that's gonna happen. Come on.
So it's kind of an interesting thing. The Graceland mansion doesn't allow videoing. You can do some videoing outside, but not inside. I tried to do a new photo style in order to make it seem a little bit more video-esque.
Kind of like a panoramic.
Yeah, that's what I did. I shot it panoramic so that it just wasn't like a moving photo like you normally see when we can't video. This one kind of moves left and right because it's a panoramic.
And you won't get in trouble because it's.
You won't get in trouble because you are taking a picture. So I like to follow the rules.
Whenever we can.
Yeah, whenever we can. So that's what we did. They have different packages. You can do VIPs and stuff like that. We saw one of the VIP tours. It's not like it's you and two other people. It's like a pack of 20 people.
Yeah, it's a good amount of people.
So we were able to catch up to a VIP tour. So if we really wanted to, we could have sat and listened to everything. But when you're in a larger group, you tend to get slowed down. Obviously there's going to be things that are more interesting to other people.
And you might like that. I mean, I know there were people that were asking a lot of questions of the tour guide, and she had a lot of knowledge besides everything that was in Graceland.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And if you are huge into Elvis, then you might say it's worth the extra money.
Yeah.
We are always trying to keep costs down a little bit. So we picked a program that allowed us to visit the mansion as well as the vehicles and the airplanes, because that's kind of what we were more interested in. But we got to see a lot of stuff. I thought it was really had a lot of information for us. So you get on a bus from the kind of Graceland section, and they take you over to the mansion first. Now you can do the other items first, but they highly recommend you go to the mansion first.
Right.
This is the formal living room into the
dining room.
Yeah. Well, on the other side was like a piano room, then the dining room. This was his mother's room, which is the only bedroom you get to see. It's on the first floor. You don't get to go up those stairs where the other bedrooms were. This is a modern kitchen for the mid-70s. This house was very old when he bought it. It was built in like the 30s. He modernized it, but when he died in 1977, obviously it became kind of a time capsule for the 70s.
It was crazy walking in there. I mean,
this is the famous jungle room, which, everyone talks about the jungle room. And, you can see the green shag carpet. And here's downstairs in like the lounge TV room, which, 3 TVs in the 70s was amazing. But you can see the color scheme.
And this was the billiards room.
Yeah, this was a cool game room. It was a tapestry tent.
It felt like you were like in a carnival.
Absolutely, yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they did that. Then you go up the stairs back to the jungle room, and then you head outside. It's large acreage, but there's houses right up against it, which is so funny. This is like a back room, which they used as an office for his management team and everything like that. This is a swing set that Priscilla Presley and even Lisa Marie would have played around. Obviously not Priscilla, the wife, but Lisa Marie, the child, would have played around.
But they still have horses.
Horses out there. We didn't see too many. Obviously, it was still cold. Right. But this is the back of the property, looking at the back of the house. And then you kind of go through. There's another section which is more like a museum style, and that had a lot of interesting artifacts and just different historical things that you get to kind of see more of than just the house.
But so I thought that was like good. The outside was definitely preserved as well.
Exactly. So these are his actual keys to the house, and then his wedding dress to Priscilla, and then Lisa Marie's baby stuff. Then they had like some of the old furniture before they remodeled. So you can see that like each time frame. He contracted with Paddock Pools, which was out of California, paid
$9,000
or something for a pool, which is big back then.
Right.
And then this was the racquetball kind of game room, and they even used it to record sometimes.
Which is really cool.
Which was cool. There wasn't upstairs. You couldn't go upstairs. You could just kind of go through the racquetball court, and took some pictures that you can look for on Instagram.
Yep.
And then you kind of go to the Tranquility Garden, or meditation area, and that's where his mother is buried. His twin brother who died at birth was buried. He's buried. His dad. So it was really, they have an eternal flame there. So it was interesting really nice to see the mansion. And then you get back on a bus and go over to the other buildings. Then we went to the Presley Motors. And you get to see a ton of his cars.
Yes.
And they're not all cars that only he owned. We see one car later, it's like a white Rolls Royce that Martin Landau, right, from Little House on the Prairie.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, he owned for a while, or still does. I don't know. I think he's dead though.
And there's a little they have a little plaque next to each one, so you kind of see what each one was significant to him, whether it was in a movie or he personally just liked.
Yeah, or like while he was in Memphis, or while he was in Vegas. So wherever he was, he had a couple of different Rolls Royces. He had a couple of different limousines. He had, like, this MG was from a movie, from I think the Hawaii movie. I can't remember. There's a lot of stuff.
It's been a little while since we've been there.
And there's a lot of stuff to try and memorize. So.
But we like the purple car.
Well, I like the purple car. I did too. I thought it was interesting. And then this is actually what they used for security around Graceland,
which is really
before
cool.
They owned all the property. Here's his motorcycles. He was into Harley more than anything, but he was into boats. He was into trucks. He was into everything. And then you go next door to the archives, where a lot of his costumes. They had a special exhibit of his military years, so you could see his military driver's license, some of his military uniforms, and then next door was also the Grammys.
Yeah, all the music awards he had, and
he wore a ton of jumpsuits.
It's crazy, yeah.
Especially during the concert, after all the movies, and he started doing like Vegas concerts and the Hawaii concert.
Yeah.
So they had a ton of those on display, which I thought was really cool. And then this was the one that he wore on his last show.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice that they told you about that.
Yeah, and on this huge wall, just seeing it in person, it was amazing, seeing all the awards he got with obviously all his albums.
Right, and he was a recent recipient of the Medal of Freedom from the president. And then we went over to the plane section, and this is the Lisa Marie, obviously named after his daughter, and it was considered the Flying Graceland, and it is a time capsule as well. But it's amazing how big of a plane, and you get to go in the front and walk all the way through the back through his bedroom and out. So that, I thought that was kind of cool. A lot of these planes that they preserve, they put these partition boards and you can only look. This you could, obviously
right
can't
through.
Touch things, but you can walk right through. He was hot in there though.
It was warm. Again, it was cold, so
cold outside, but it was hot in that plane.
And you could even have a Gatorade.
An old Dr. Pepper and Gatorade. Yeah. So this was like his boardroom. He sat in that back chair where he could kind of make phone calls and kind of rule the roost. So that's his chair with all his buttons and stuff like that. And then it had like a lounge back there where people could sleep. Right. And then it led into his bedroom. And so that was a bed he actually slept on in the plane. I mean, I don't know how much he slept. I don't know how long the flights were, but if he was doing... And then this is his private bathroom in the back, which also had like a makeup area. Then right next to it was the Learjet, which Hound Dog 1. And now this was way smaller. Obviously, it's shorter trips, probably quicker too. I don't know anything about planes. But you could walk just in, you could turn to the left to see the cockpit area, turn to the right to see the kind of the sitting area, and then you just went back.
And again, you could see the extravagant colors, yellows and greens.
Yeah, the colors were really extravagant, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Then we kind of just walked around that area. They do have a couple of restaurants there. We didn't decide to do eating there. We had kind of a restaurant that wasn't too far away that we had picked out.
Right.
I'm sure the food would have been fantastic. They had like a cafeteria style. They had
diner.
A diner, yeah, cafeteria style diner. They had a barbecue restaurant.
Yep.
And I'm sure they would have been delicious. I try not to eat at events, just like when we were in Disney. I don't like to eat. Jimmy, I mean, can never get comfortable. We don't like to eat places where, you know, you're kind of there because we feel that they sometimes raise the prices up.
Right.
We didn't check the prices, so I don't know for sure. But we kind of feel like that, right? You don't like that. And since we were just a short walk across, we could eat either in the coach or... you know, go to the Jeep and drive to a local place. And that's where we did. We went to a restaurant that we had read about that's famous for the area, and that's what we were really excited about. We went to Uncle Lou's Fried Chicken, which is known for their fried chicken, obviously. Yep. Kind of self-explanatory. We went kind of in between lunch and dinner after touring. The tour takes about 2 hours, so price is super reasonable. Really tasty. And this was the fried chicken meal. It was 3 pieces, came with coleslaw and a honey one biscuit. Yeah, 1 honey biscuit. We ordered 4 extra biscuits, and then we ordered some corn nuggets.
And the corn nuggets were delicious. I'm glad we actually got those to go with it.
These are corn nuggets. They may be deep fried corn, or they may be corn fritters. We don't know yet, but we'll find out.
And I think for the white meat, you just got breasts of chicken, right?
Yeah, I paid extra for just to have the the white meat. We sometimes do drumsticks or a thigh, but we prefer the breast, so we paid a little bit more. Do you want to be with Mom now? What?
I'll take him.
Never happy.
He wants to be with me.
Then he'll want to be with me in 2 seconds. Yeah, we decided to do the white meat at that time. So I thought it was not far. It was like maybe 2 blocks to the east or something from Graceland. So it was really close. It wasn't
that far at all.
You couldn't walk, but it was pretty close. And then we just shared. We tend to share. Obviously, those 3 pieces. I'm glad we shared because they were gigantic pieces of chicken. You can get them dunked in different hot sauces and stuff like that. We just did kind of the basic style to try for the first time.
We're flavor basics. Like, we're not a big...
At least for the first time. I mean, if we're had it and we're like, oh, that could use a little kick, then maybe. We'll dunk it the next time, but not this time. Yeah. But we had a great time in Memphis. I think since it was a short trip from Nashville to Memphis, Anne was on the mend, as we talked about, so she'll get better.
Yep.
Like, now he wants to be with me. Jimi Hendrix. So I think it was great.
Yeah.
It was a really good time.
Yep.
Please
subscribe. We would love it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Yeah. And if you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, if you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. But absolutely, if you want to know when new videos are hit the bell on your computer for notifications. But, you know, hit the subscribe button too while you're at it.
If you didn't get it the first time, do it a second time.
Keep hitting subscribe. Just make sure it doesn't say unsubscribe. Please follow us on Instagram as we showed you in the video. And we'll take pictures while we're out places and post them just on Instagram.
Yep, and we like to post some things on Facebook as well.
Yeah, so I'll have to put those into the videos. Look for this on Facebook. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
thank you. Thanks for running away with us to Memphis, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
So as I said, the campground was doesn't matter.
Ooh. This is what happens when you don't rehearse beforehand. You just talk like you want to.
Yeah.
Let's build our dream home and buy a speedboat. Let's sell it all for a tiny Airstream on the coast. See what matters most.